Hi guys, this is Debbie. I'm going to give people a minute to hop on here if anyone's hopping on at noon today to hear about celebrating small successes. Um, so I'll give a minute and then I'm going to get started for those of you who watch the replay so you don't have to sit and wait for it to begin. I hope everyone in the Michigan area is enjoying the sun. If you have sun today, if you're already in a warm area, we're envious of you because we want warm. Okay, I am going to go ahead and get started. So today's training, if you are watching the replay, thanks for hopping in. And those of you popping in live as this goes on, welcome. So today, excuse me, I want to talk about successes, about celebrating your small successes. I think it's really easy in our daily lives. You know, we perform activities that some of them, qualify as wins. But what qualifies as a win to you? Is it only the big things or is it the small things? Because you need to start refocusing yourself if you're only looking at the big wins. Anything in your life is a win, from choosing a healthy meal. You know, right now I know I need to go eat lunch after this. To me, if I pick something healthy, that's a win to me. Because it's much easier for me to grab something that's unhealthy than it is to grab something healthy. So I look at every little thing I do as a win, to a big thing like doing well in a job interview. Both those things are wins. I think it's really important for us to pay attention to this because a lot of times these small victories go very unnoticed. We're very quick to notice mistakes about ourselves and shortcomings that we make during our day. So it's important to, maybe you're going to notice the mistakes, but you're going to correct them and pay attention to the things that you then win with, and not ignore those small little things throughout your day. These little things, that's what brings us joy, and that's what's essential to our motivation. Some people in business say that we shouldn't celebrate until we cross the finish line. I totally disagree with this. Because I believe there's never a success that's too small to celebrate. We have a long journey in front of us, you guys. Life is a journey, right? And if we only pay attention to those big things and don't allow ourselves to celebrate in the small celebrations along the way, oh my gosh, your mindset is not going to be in a great place because you're always going to feel like a failure and you're not getting there. But instead, if you look at all the little things along the way to the big thing, or maybe it doesn't even lead to a big thing, maybe it's just a little thing each day. That is going to create such a mindset, which we talked about, I believe, last week, the importance of that positive mindset. So the more you notice the little things, the more you set your own brain up and your own mindset up to look for positive things and feel good about yourself, which of course creates who we are and brings us just a better feeling of self-worth and a better feeling of self-confidence. Once you start acknowledging all these small successes, it kind of goes into a snowball effect. You're going to start paying attention to all the little things. Okay, so I want to talk about some different areas of your life, because this isn't just, when you celebrate small successes, that's everywhere. This isn't just Color Street. It's maybe you have another job outside of Color Street. It's your work. It's as a parent, if you're a parent. It's in friendships, it's with spouses. We need to look at little things along the way, not just the big things. I know sometimes as a parent, we look at the big vacation coming up. But how about all the little things you're doing along the way? How about the little activities, the activity to the park? That's just as big of a deal to these little kids as it is to take them to Disney. They don't. What are they going to remember when they leave Disney? They're probably going to remember the hotel room, right? So make sure you're not just focusing on the big vacation, but you focus on all the time you spend together, maybe planning for it or going on doing activities outside of that. When I was a stay-at-home mom, my kids were young, I had to celebrate my own small successes for little things like getting a shower in, picking up the kitchen, getting maybe I'd scrapbook during their nap time. Those were huge successes for me, because I found it hard to get anything done with maybe one napping and one not napping. And if I didn't celebrate those small successes each day, the odds of me completing each day feeling unfulfilled or like I didn't do anything go up. But if I'm acknowledging all these little things, by the end of the day, I'm like, God, I got a lot done. Not only do I have my 2 kids I'm watching, but I got a shower in today. I put makeup on today. I put a cute outfit on. I picked up the kitchen. When I started acknowledging all that, it kind of turned around how I viewed each day. So some important things about celebrating your small successes. First of all, of course, you have to notice them, right? You have to pay attention to what they could be. And it can vary person to person. It might be putting a toozie on for you to a stranger in the store. That is a small victory, and I've been doing this almost 2 years now, and it's still a big deal when I put a toozie on someone. I still enjoy it, especially if it's a stranger and you're coming up with that conversation with them. So pay attention to that little one. Don't just look for, oh my gosh, I didn't sponsor somebody today. That's great when you sponsor somebody, but pay attention to all those little people that you talk to along the way to get to the person that you sponsored. Because if you didn't keep trying and attempting to talk to people, you're not going to sponsor anybody. So if you don't allow yourself to feel good about the person you sampled who may not ever buy, who may not host a party, who may not sign up, but guess what? You got out of your comfort zone. You put that nail on somebody. You tried to make them feel good, and they're probably looking at that nail all week long. You need to celebrate that with yourself because that's essential in the process of growth. The more people you keep talking to about something like a toozie and showing them, eventually you're going to meet the person who does want to have a nail bar or who does want to sign up and sell it. So you've got to talk to the people along the way and be proud of yourself with each conversation you have. I personally am a list checker. So I create my list every day of what I'm going to do, and I thrive on crossing those things off. I love being able to mark them off. And if I do something that's not on that list, I promise you I'm adding it to the list and I'm checking it off because those are my small successes throughout the day. Some of those things are as small as, I don't really put packing the kids' lunch because that's just a given. But it might be, running one errand or making a phone call to somebody. All those things count, and it makes me feel successful by the end of the day when I can look and see how many things are crossed off. If you guys noticed so what I do each week, I don't know if people follow me on Instagram. Each week I post on Sundays, I've been posting a quote, which goes along with what the training is. So then I move the quote over to Facebook. And so if you noticed, I put a picture of my husband and I put that picture with this quote because marriage is another area where you have to celebrate small successes. We've been together since 1988. We've been together a long time. And, marriage can be work, and it's easy to take each other for granted. So it's so important, I find, between the two of us, for me to point out something as little as, hey, thank you for emptying the dishwasher. Every small success, if we get in a disagreement and we come back around and we talk about it, that's a win. Because if you don't look at all those little things along the way of how you're supporting each other and how you're working together, then you're going to have issues in your marriage too. So what if they fold the laundry or they help you out with an errand? All those small little things, and then I get excited for myself that I acknowledged it as well. So it's a win that I'm thanking him, but it's also a win to me that I'm noticing those things still. So celebrate these small successes, not just again in work, but in your life and in your relationships as well. Getting excited. So kids get excited about very small things, don't they? And again, as we get older, a lot of things change as we get older. As I've said before, our mindset changes. Well, we tend to not get as excited and enthusiastic about little things. Maybe it's because you're worried, you're trying to play it cool. You don't want people to think you get excited about something as little as emptying the dishwasher. But you know what? They're pretty big and significant. If you have a busy day and you come home and you make dinner and you get the kitchen clean and you plan out your menu for the next day and you get the dishwasher emptied, that's a win to me. That's a lot of things that you got done in that evening. So you know what? Get excited about it. Don't just think it in your head. Tell your family about it. Yeah, do you know what a great evening I just had? I did this, this, and this, and this. So be excited about those small, silly things that you're getting done every day in your life. You put a Tuesday on somebody, you know what? Call your upline, call someone else, go in beautifully polished under goals or one of the different albums and share it with us. You know what? When their face lights up when you put the Tuesday on it, your face is going to light up, and then you're excited that you talked to them. So get excited about all of these little things that you do, and don't undermine yourself for these small things you do. For, let's say you decide to call 5 customers today. First of all, the phone is that heavy phone, right? No one wants to pick up that heavy phone. So you know what? The day you call those 5 people, my gosh, I'd be celebrating. I'd be calling somebody, or I'd be saying something. Maybe it's even you write a note to yourself and you post it on the fridge. It says, yes, I called 5 people today. Because honestly, if you're not looking at the small things and you're only looking at let's say you want to become team leader, you're only looking at that team leader without looking at all the things that you've done to get to team leader. Well, then by the time you get to team leader, I mean, you're going to be excited, but what about all those things you took for granted that you need to keep doing and keep getting excited about? So then communicate your small wins. Kind of goes along with what I was just saying, that, we're human beings are social people, right? We communicate with each other about so many things. Well, if you have a good victory that day, now's the day you call somebody. Post it. Like I said, sometimes people I know like to post things on their social media, depending what it is. It might be just within our own group. It might be reaching out or texting somebody, on our team. But make sure you celebrate. If it's something you feel good about, then let us know, because we want to hear these things. It's not just the big things that are important. So establish habits that help you make small wins every day. So like I said, it's easy to just kind of overlook all the small things you do, but you shouldn't overlook them. Everything you do for your business is a win. It might be cleaning your office. My gosh, my desk is a mess right now. So the day I sit down and I get this organized, that's gonna be a big win. But as I keep getting little things off of there, those are small wins each day. That's getting closer to that big win. Like I said, maybe it's phone calls. Maybe it's getting yourself organized. Maybe one day you're going to sit down and you're going to put, maybe you're going to put, your Tuesdays and your alcohol prep pads. I personally paper clip them all to my catalog. So at a nail bar, then I pass out the order form catalog, nail prep pad, and Tuesday. So maybe one day you're going to sit down and you're going to do a whole bunch of them to cover the rest of your nail bars. That's a huge win. Maybe it's going to be today you're going to work on social media and you're going to make a whole bunch of posts and you're going to schedule them out. Again, that's a win. All those things are important for you to acknowledge and know that you took the time, that you had the discipline, and that you did something. So if you create the habit, maybe each day you want to do 3 things with your business. And those 3 things, you keep doing those 3 things every single day, they're going to lead to the big goals. They're going to lead to earning that more money, or getting a nail bar, or sponsoring somebody. But you've got to do the other things along the way to get to those. So you've got to make sure you're doing them. So, usually habits take about 21 days consecutively to create. So maybe you are going to come up with 3 things a day or 5 things a day that you're going to do Monday through Friday. Maybe you're taking Saturday and Sunday off. Come up with Monday through Friday, write down the things that you want to do, create habits for these things. And each day you do it, then what are you going to do to celebrate? So we'll talk about rewarding yourself in a minute. So live in the present moment and acknowledge it. So when you're in pursuit of all the big achievement, we tend to take, again, the exact present moment for granted. We forget about the little activities we're doing, because we're not necessarily, we're a lot of us, we can't help but look at the future, right? You want this in the future. But all the little moments lead to that future. So for example, I'm not a huge reader, and I strive to be. I want to be so bad. I have a stack of personal development books. I tend to be able to listen to them better on tape, because then I can walk the dog. But I'm better at, I like them. I like to read them because then I can highlight and take notes. So I kind of go between the two. So let's say I'm trying to get a book read, and I just can't fit it in. So instead of not reading the book, you know what? Then maybe you're going to strive to read a book within 2 months, but then acknowledge every day, if you decide to set a goal for reading 10 pages a day, then each day you read those 10 pages, you need to acknowledge that with yourself and celebrate yourself. Let's say your goal is to sponsor 2 new stylists. Well, you got to start talking to people, right? If you want to sponsor people, you got to talk to people. So the goal would be, okay, each day I'm setting a goal. You know, we have the color 10 strategy of talking to 10 people a week. Maybe you're going to define it further. I am talking to 2 people a day, whether it's strangers or reaching out, until, you know, I've talked to 2 people a day for 5 days in a row, and do that consistently. But each time you talk to them, again, don't just pay attention to the one who signs up, acknowledge the ones you've talked to get to those 10. So what are you doing when you do all this? Make sure you reward yourself. And a reward can be anything that brings you pleasure. It could be taking time to watch your favorite TV show. That's a reward to me, because I just don't seem to watch a lot of TV anymore. When I used to run, I got it on the treadmill, but now that I don't run, I don't really watch TV as much. So it is a reward, and I watch one TV show with my son, so it's a bigger reward. When I have time, I get to sit down with him, and, you know, with him leaving for college, that's a big deal for me. So, you know, setting myself up that, okay, if I get this, this, and this done, my reward for today is that I get to watch this 20-minute episode with him, and I love that. Maybe it's going to be ice cream. Who doesn't love ice cream, right? Chocolate. Maybe it's going to be something like that. Maybe it's going to be, you know what, when I have done this, this, and this, then I'm going to take the evening off, and I'm not going to look at Color Street, or I'm not going to look at my other job. So whatever the reward is for you, maybe you have a goal. Ultimately, you want to make, let's say, $1,000 a month with Color Street. All right, so let's say you start off and you're making about $300 a month. Well, make sure you do something to be excited about that $300 that you made for that month, because that's $300 more than you had before. And then if it goes up, let's say the next month it's $500. Well, my gosh, it went up. So why wouldn't you celebrate that? So maybe it's not going to be buying something big because you're not at the ultimate goal you wanted, but maybe you're going to treat yourself to a Starbucks. Maybe it's, okay, each time my month goes up in pay, then I get to get a Starbucks on the first of the month, because to me that's a treat. $5 drink is a treat, right? So come up with what some of these small things are, and when you achieve them, what are you going to do to reward yourself in the little things that are leading to the big thing? And then finally, I don't want you guys to pile pressure on yourself. You know, ever since we've been little kids in elementary school, we have deadlines. Homework's due, you know, you have a sport, something, there's always deadlines that we're watching. Okay, so my list of things to do I get everything done all the time? Absolutely not. I would love to. Some days I do, but not every single day. You know, I know when it's an absolute hard, fast deadline, of course I'm going to meet it. But if it's a, you know, okay, well, I know I'm going to call 5 customers today, and if I don't get to it, I'm not going to beat myself up about it. I will move that to the next day, and I'm not going to let it go more than a couple days. I've got to get it. I've got to do it then by the 3rd day. But so allow yourself a little grace. We all need grace. We are all doing multiple things in our lives, not just Color Street. Everybody has something else. So allow yourself grace if you don't get what you're trying to achieve, and relax on the deadlines, because once you're more relaxed, you're happier, which will get you more motivated, and then it's all going to be you know, you'll feel more successful in the end. And then it's even a bigger celebration when you do that, get that thing done that you maybe missed the deadline but did it 2 days later. Don't just put it off. Don't say, oh, forget it, I didn't do it yesterday, I'm not going to do it at all. Just put it on for the next day and reapproach it. A good quote that I liked was, great success always starts with a small step. So think of those small steps. So I'm not sure how many of you have big long-term goals with Color Street. So if you don't, what I'd like you guys to work on, your homework, would be work on those goals. I want you to think of a big goal, but I also want you to think of goals that would lead you there along the way. So if you want to be a team leader, let's say, well, let's think of, okay, you have to start by sponsoring people, right? Then you have to start by becoming a senior stylist. then having a senior stylist. You need to continue sponsoring. You also have to have financial goals set with that too, because you need to sell a certain amount to be a team leader. Maybe yours is going to be, you know what, I want to consistently BQ and do $300 and no less than that every month. Maybe that's going to be your goal. Maybe your goal is I'm never going to hit less than enhanced commission, so which is $600. So set a big goal and then set the little goals that you're going to do. So if I know I want to set the goal of selling $600 in a month. Well, what's going to lead to that? Nail bars. So I need to have a minimum of 2 to 3 nail bars to sell $600 if my average nail bar is $300. Okay, so with those goals, I'm going to set the goal of 2 to 3 nail bars a month. That means I need to start talking to people. How many people am I going to talk to each week to be able to reach out to try to, get these relationships going? So with every big goal, if you just put the big goal and you haven't broke down how you're going to get there, then that big goal just kind of sits here and you're not sure how to get there. So formulate the steps of how to get there. And every time you hit those steps, you make sure you have something that, when I talk to people, this is going to be my reward. When I sign somebody up, this is my reward. Reward yourself for all those things along the way. It might even be just, your reward might even be turning on your favorite song and dancing around your house, whatever makes you happy. So make sure you guys work on goals, because in our business, again, I know I say this all the time, you don't have a boss telling you what to do. We're not making you do any of this. So you're coming up with your own business plan. This is where I want to be, so I got to break it down. And these are the things I need to do to get there. And along the way, I'm going to enjoy all the things that I do. I know for me personally, from the time I started a year and a half ago, I look and I think of all the things I've taught myself. A year and a half ago, I was not doing live videos. That's just one of many, many things that I have taught myself, that I am so proud of myself and where I've come from and how much I've grown in the past year and a half. And if I don't take the time to acknowledge everything I've done and I just look at what I haven't done yet, well then, all I'm going to do is feel bad about myself. But instead I take the time to think, you know what, I may not be at this goal yet, but my gosh, I've made training videos. I've learned, or I've gotten more comfortable with Zoom calls. I've built a customer base. I've touched so many women's lives, putting nails on them. I have introduced Color Street to so many people. I mean, there's so many things in my life that I've done in the past year and a half due to Color Street, that all that stuff makes up who I am now. And if I didn't pay attention to that, then the whole thing's kind of, I don't want to say a waste, but it kind of is if I don't acknowledge everything that I've already done. So, all right, let me see. I have helpful is a new style. Yes. Yeah. Putting awareness into a business. Yeah. So you definitely, Erica, you want to be aware of everything you do and be proud of everything you do and keep one step at a time, because there's a lot of stuff. Our job involves juggling many, many hats. It's not, every day is not an easy job with what we do. It's a simple product and it's a simple concept, but that doesn't mean it's easy to go out and do every day. So everything we do, every hat we wear, from working with other people to talking to customers to organizing your business, all of them are small victories that you guys, and big victories, that I'm so proud of all you guys for taking this on and to continue to work at it and strive to make yourself a better person. In the end, if I look back, I think I have no regret, because I know that I've learned and I've become, I have so many things that, like, let's say confidence and other things where I've seen myself grow, that everything about Color Street in that regard has been a win for me, of all the things that I've gotten out of it. And that's what I want you guys to do, is to take all these small victories so you feel really good and you're getting what you want, but along the way you're acknowledging yourself and everything and all the effort you've put into this. So that's what I have for you guys today, unless anyone has any questions they want to pop up here on the live. Next week I will be on an airplane, so I'm gonna record it, so we won't be able to do comments, but I will still post it at noon, so everybody will watch the training at noon. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, you can Debbie Bry 1. You can follow me there on Sundays. You can see the topic. And I hope everybody has a great week and enjoy, if you're going on spring break, enjoy your spring break. And I will see, end of the month too. So have a great end of the month, which will be Monday. Can't remember, one of the 2 days. So I hope you guys all meet your goals. And thank you. Thanks, you guys. Thanks for tuning in. And for those who are going to watch the recording later, I hope you guys start all celebrating your small successes. And let us help you do that. Go and beautifully polish in an album. Maybe I'll even create a new album right now called Small Successes. That's a good one. I'll add it right now when I hang up. All right. Everybody have a great day.